Jane's Crafty Stampers. This is a tutorial for the butterfly card that we made with the ribbon in it. So this is kind of an example of it. So you got the butterfly here, a strip of the mint macaroon with a ribbon through it, and then we stamped this with the paper and basically the cream paper inside of there. So this is pretty easy to make. I'll show you the stamps or the punches that I used to do this. I did have this one, and I believe, yes, it's a Martha Stewart one, and it punches ribbons, holes that you can put ribbon through. And then this one, I believe, is, a Fisker. And this one punches scallops in it, so I'll show you. So what I did with this one to make it a little bit easier, I cut, for the piece that we're going to use with the ribbon, I cut a piece a little bit longer than the 5 1/2 that this is. Is that right? Yep, 5 1/2. A little bit longer than the 5 1/2, and I'll show you why I did that. Okay, the best way when you're doing punches, I found, to lining it up, I go ahead and I start in the middle of my piece of paper. And I put it down on my table all the time. And see, this one has a pattern to it. So what you want to do is line up your pattern. You don't want to go too far because the punching just starts from here to here. So when you get any of these kind of punchings, you have to watch kind of where it's starting and stopping. And then I go over to the other side. And see, that's what you do when you don't line it up exactly what width you need on there. So it's pretty easy. You just go back in, line it up again, and you can punch it. So with the lining up technique, these punches are pretty easy to not have issues with. Okay, the way I did this one, so what I'm going to do is I did the scallops first. Now this is all going to be done for you. I'm just kind of showing an example of how this is done in case you guys are interested in buying these kind of punches to do something like this. So once again, I'm lining it up in the middle. And I'm putting the scallops all the way to the back. Punching it. Okay, so that punched 4 holes. So if you can see on here, I don't know if you can, there are some darker slots and a lighter one and then a darker one. You want to match it up with the darker slots. So you want to match these holes up with the darker slots in order to get it evened out correctly how you want to do this. See, if you match it up, then it will stamp the sign. Then I go over here to the other side. Try to match it up with the darker ones. Punch, and I did that. And I kind of leave these ends like that, so then it will come out even. And basically, that makes it easier. So what you're going to do in your kit is you're going to get this piece. I already have it cut for you. Then you're going to get a ribbon. So the little trick with ribbons to do these is I take a little bit of mask, just regular Scotch tape, because it's very hard to string these ribbons through that paper. So I go ahead and I just put a little bit, do the ribbon of course longer than your piece. Then I go ahead and put a little bit of tape here. Then I'll do is just kind of cut this at a point like you're going to use a threader. Now in this, what the goal is to have this longer space. You want your ribbons to be outwards on that. So in order to create that, you want to start, if you have these double like this, you want to start down. So just think of the short or down, the long or up. So you first want to go down. See how much easier it makes with that stringing that through like that. Then you want to do your long, your short, and I don't think this ribbon has a wrong side and a right side. Maybe it does, but it's just pretty much satin ribbon. And if you have any other ribbon that you would like, and I think this ribbon is a 1/4 inch, and it fits pretty well through these holes. I can see it bunching a little bit. The best thing to do on here, I can tell you because I just did it, make sure that when you pull your first one that your tail's very short, because once you get down to this end, it's hard to start pulling this ribbon through all these holes. And oops, okay, what did I do wrong? See there, I was talking too much. I did something wrong. I'm sure you guys caught that as soon as I started doing it. Well, I guess this teaches you guys what not to do. That tape does help a lot, because there's just, before I figured out the tape, I started trying to do the ribbon through the holes, and it was almost impossible because it kept on fraying if I tried to get it through. So this makes kind of a cool, neat technique that we do on this. Okay, so the pieces you're going to get are your card that is scored for you. Then you're going to get your background piece and this. So make sure you don't glue anything down. You need to finish this one first. So what this does, this fits on here. Then you're going to do your butterflies right against there. So you are going to have the mint macaroon all the way around. Then this is going to be in here. So the little trick I tell you to do with this, I would take my butterfly one first, and on your left side of where your butterfly is, because make sure your butterflies are up, on your left side on here, I would take your tape and just make a line right there and put your butterfly up against here, because you want to measure this to make sure that that ribbon is going to butt up just perfectly how you want it to get out. Because I kind of just have it peeking out just a little bit on there, and you can basically size it however you want. If you want it out this much, if you want it in, it doesn't matter on there. The only thing to do is I have this stamp that I'm going to stamp here. Okay. So before I put this in, I just kind of want to measure it to make sure that's all okay. So I want to go ahead and stamp this saying. What I did is I just go ahead and use my regular Memento. And I'm going to stamp this for you. And it's just kind of a get well little saying on here that says, hope this note finds you feeling better. And if you can tell, I do have my Stampin' Up! Grid paper. Underneath it I do have a stamping pad, if you can tell. It's a dark maroon. This helps when you stamp to get it a little bit, the ink filled in a little bit better. Okay, so basically what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stick this underneath here. What you want to kind of do is position it how you want to with the ends of these ribbons, how you want it to look. And what I did, so we're not going to have any frayed edges or cards or the ribbon edges, I went ahead and I just tucked this down like this. And I tucked this one down like this. And it folds pretty easy if you do it like that. Okay, so we have this positioned right. So what I want to do is take this out. Go ahead and put your tape in here. So we're going to position it just correctly. So that should be all taped in. Next thing you do want to do is flip it over. Put this down. I'd put a little tape up. If you want to, you can cut off your little... Yes, and this is an example that you're not supposed to use your scissors for... have separate scissors for ribbon because it doesn't cut well. So then I had and did this. And there, it makes it real clean. Your edges are real clean, your ribbon's real clean, you don't have fraying or anything like that. So then I went ahead and I just took some snail tape. And I lined it up here with a little macaroon peeking out. And voila! And if you catch the little edges like I did, you just lift that up and tape this down. There you go. It's all finished.